As incredible as Hoagland's theory is, it sounds remarkably similar to stories told in this small village in southern Belize.
The legend tells us that the crystal skull is not made by earthly men like us here. It comes from an alien world. We say it's an alien because they are not like me and you. These aliens are from the different dimensional world.
Whether guided by alien gods or earthly ambition, Bill Holman is nearing the top of the mountain. Underneath his feet is an ancient Maya pyramid, the lost city of Uxbantun.
Didn't you say that some of the, like a king or some of their family might be in this area?
The theory that I've heard from archaeologists is that a branch of the royal family lived here.
As he neared the summit, Bill could feel the presence of the ancient Maya. It's around this time that most explorers start to think about the curse surrounding crystal skulls.
There are some who say that perhaps the crystal skulls are cursed. In fact, Frederick Mitchell Hedges described his skull as the skull of doom and said that it had been used in ancient ceremonies to will death.
Okay, Bill, well, this is about as far as we can go without actually hacking a new trail. I'll hand you off and let you go.
According to Christopher, the top of the pyramid is up there somewhere. So Bill will have to hack and hack his way through the tropical forest. Finally, Bill stumbles onto something. It's a tiny exposed wall. He's found just a piece of the ancient city of Uxbantun.
I feel that there's something underneath the ground here, especially when you can go around and you see the different openings and look in. You can see that it opens up into like a room inside. So there's more to it than just a pile of stones and rocks.
This entire mountain is a giant pile of rocks, and any opening Bill could find is not big enough to squeeze through. He didn't expect to even find this place, and local law prevents any unauthorized digging. He'll have to come back another day after getting a permit, and that could take months.
And I feel that there is something here. I feel that if I was able to dig here, you know, just having that feeling and being here, it sure makes you want to find it.
As for Leonardo Akul, there is more to this mystery. He sees the link between Bill Holman and F.A. Mitchell Hedges, the man who first came here in search of lost treasure. Leonardo says the time is right to reveal another secret, and it's something Bill Holman has been anxiously waiting to hear.
Yes, there is another crystal skull buried not too far from here.
In the next hour, we widen our search as the hunt for skulls brings us onto the high seas and a spot littered with buried treasure.
We're going to go down and scour the area and see what we can come up with.
But with underwater currents threatening,
It's a little dangerous, too.
things are about to get rough. And an ancient prophecy drives the mission. The Mayan calendar foretells cataclysm in the year 2012.
They believe that the skulls are emerging now to change the course of humanity before it's too late.
With Mystery of the Crystal Skulls continues.
Like the incredible adventures of Indiana Jones in the movies, real-life adventurer Bill Holman is on a mission. Here in Belize, Bill is hoping to find another crystal skull, one similar to the skull purportedly found by Mitchell Hedges more than 80 years ago. Maya legend says the skulls contain the secrets of the gods. Others believe the skulls will reveal profound wisdom from an advanced civilization said to have founded the lost continent of Atlantis, once the code is broken by finding all 13 skulls. So the search is on, and Bill has just received a tantalizing promise from Leonardo Akul, his friend and a spiritual leader to the Maya, who still live here in Belize, on the lands their ancestors inhabited centuries ago. Leonardo knows where another skull is hidden, and he will take Bill to it. But first, Bill will have to be patient until the time is right to go there. With limited time, Bill decides not to wait around, but to travel to the island of Roatan, just off the coast of Honduras for a couple of days. Mitchell Hedges lived on Roatan for 7 years in the 1930s, and Bill says there is some evidence that he may have even found and hidden a second skull on or around the island. Local diving legend Doc Radowski knows more about these waters than anyone.
When Mitchell Hedges came here and was working here, it was very primitive. There were no roads. Everything moved by boat. There was no electricity, no running water. Pretty much like Treasure Island in Robert Louis Stevenson's book.
Buried treasure also attracted Mitchell Hedges to Roatan. For centuries, Roatan had been a base for pirates. The most famous and most wanted was Henry Morgan. Morgan robbed Spain's Caribbean colonies during the late 17th century, even seizing Jamaica from the Spanish and converting it into an English colony. Over time, dozens of ships were lost.
In Roatan and around Port Royal, there's probably treasure to be found. The amount of buried treasure is probably anybody's guess.
Lee Matuta was just a kid when Mitchell Hedges arrived.
Was staying on the key digging the key up. Looking treasures and found key and chase of money.
The old-timers here believe that Mitchell Hedges struck it rich, hauling up 3 treasure chests full of gold doubloons. But he is also said to have found something even more valuable, hidden within a local cave, a fantastic object made of crystal, possibly another crystal skull. As the story goes, when the authorities tried to stop him from taking these treasures out of the country, Mitchell Hedges is said to have thrown one of the chests and the crystal skull into these waters. And now Bill Holman is here to look for them.
Yeah, we're on the site of a sunken 17th century ship loaded with Spanish gold right in this area. Much of the gold was taken off and placed in chests buried by the pirates. F.A. Mitchell Hedges was here and he located some of the chests. And we have metal detectors. We're going to go down and scour the area and see what we can come up with.
This will be a new adventure for me. The anchor is set as we suit up and dive in. Who knows? If we don't find a skull, maybe Bill and I will find some doubloons. As we scour the grassy ocean floor, we enter a world many have never seen before. We glide over and around the ancient wreck, but no sign of treasure, and the current is becoming stronger. But then, something happens. Bill points the metal detector over some large chunks of the old shipwreck. The needle spikes, but just for a second. It doesn't look as if anything but bits of a picturesque wreck is buried here. And this current is tricky. It's so strong, it's dragging us away. Unable to stay positioned, Bill and I meet at the top.
I stepped into the sand there where I thought I saw something, but it's really hard to know. It's a little dangerous, too. There's a lot of jagged edges. I'm guessing there's a lot of undiscovered stuff in this area, given the amount of history and warfare that took place here.
After struggling against strong currents and limited visibility, we've come up empty. It was a long shot anyway. But Bill has a surprise, a hand-drawn map showing another possible location.
Anna Mitchell Hedges was here in 2002, and when she was here, she gave me some ideas where her and her father might have lost or left some treasure. And I want to go back to that spot. I want to see if we can find it.
Is it far from here? I mean, did she give you a pretty good ID where it is?
Yeah, it's right across the bay, so it's not too far from here at all. That's it.
Bill is still on the hunt, still consumed with adventure. But he isn't the only person obsessed with skulls and their power. A world away, Joanne Parks, owner of Max, the second most renowned skull on Earth, will soon be presenting him to a devoted audience.
I'm bringing Max to New York City for a magical, mystical event at the Meta Center.
Joanne, from Houston, Texas, has been traveling with this skull for the last 21 years. She believes the skull has tremendous healing powers.
Max the Skull came into my life through a major shift. We met a healer through our family medical doctor in 1973 when our 12-year-old daughter had been diagnosed and was dying of bone cancer.
According to Joanne, her oldest daughter was given only 3 months to live. She says a lama named Norbu Chin used his skull to try to help heal her daughter.
They would chant and talk Tibetan to the skull and claim they communicated with it. Between the monk's work, the creator's work, the skull's work, they did give her extension on her life for 3 years. She lived for 3 more years very well.
Just before Norbu died, he gave Joanne his crystal skull. Since then, she has conducted numerous ceremonies with it.
I want to welcome all of you to being here this evening and
Joanne brings Max to people who want to draw support the skull's supposed spiritual and healing powers.
Max did for me what no human could do. He helped tap into me and bring me out of a deep, dark pit, a 5-long-year deep, dark pit over the death of my daughter, and helped me to express myself through him. He's here to help people along on their own spiritual path in their own ways.